Carpe Sus. When hunting up in North Texas, I've returned to the site that has the high bluffs on it. I'm doing some exploration of the property. Notice that there's the old rooting, and I've noticed that there's some new rooting as well that's going on, so the hogs are still active. From the previous video, this is the well pad where Ben shot the first hog of the night on the last hunt. And out here are a couple hay bales. These are going to be important later in the video that I use as markers for the field. Here I am up on the bluff, got the truck situated. Notice I've chalked the tires because the bluff actually starts going downhill just a few feet in front of where I parked the truck, and then it gets steeper about right there, and then if you pass that point, it's kind of Katie barred the door going downhill. On top of the truck, I've got the InfiRay Finder that I got from Tech Savvy Optics. It's going to be doing a lot of the scanning for me tonight, and my rifle is mounted on a man-belly tripod. Check out the link in the description for a discount code. Now, as I arrived early, I did some exploration of the bluff area looking for a way down that maybe I could stalk in the dark. That's not going to happen, but I did find this random trap on one of the ledges. Never know what you're going to find when you're out doing exploration. This is my view from the top of the bluff over my Bearing Optics Super Yoder LRF. And I'm getting ranges on various objects in the distance, such as the first row of hay bales is at 300 yards, the second row is at 350. This peak of the tree line's out there at about 400 yards, and the far tree line's out there at about 515 yards. That lets me know how far away the animals are if they come into the field, and that helps let me know if I'm going to be shooting or if I'm going to be stalking.
Brass Catcher by Tactical Brass Recovery.
So I'm up here sitting on top of the bluff. I've got the InfiRay Finder looking in one direction. I'm using a hand scanner to look in another direction, and I happen to glance down and see a hog disappear into the woods. So I get out of the truck and I get on my Lone Star Armory TX15 multi-purpose carbine enhanced in 6.5 Grendel, through which I'll be shooting some Spear TNT 90 grain bullets loaded by Druid Hill Army into Starline brass. The wind isn't a problem at this point, mostly because of the vegetation and the bluff blocking the wind. However, I'm looking for the hog that's going to come out about here, a total of about 115 feet lower in elevation than I am. So I've blown up the view from the InfiRay Finder, and you can see the hog just emerging from the woods. And I'm getting the scope turned on the rifle. And about the time I get the scope turned on, the hog pops out of the woods. I get the range on the hog really quickly, and he starts moving away from me, so I'm going to go ahead and take my shot on the hog. Sounds like a nice solid hit, but he runs into the woods. Second shot does not connect. I'm way behind on that shot. And I don't see the hog emerge, so I'm going to have to look for it later. So this is where I'm ranging the hog as it's coming out. You can see the cyan crosshair on the hog, and that's giving me a range of about 243 yards. Of course, that information was very important so that I had the correct holdover for the hog, and the hog only ran about 25 yards. This is what it looked like as I found him in the woods, and he turned out to be a 140-pound boar. And I'd like to finish up my video by talking about the InfiRay Finder. Y'all have seen a lot of video from the InfiRay Finder, and this is a picture of the icons that appear in the upper left-hand corner of the scope. And this is what it usually looks like when recorded through Bluetooth onto my phone inside the truck. And I'm showing you this because all of the image recorded on Bluetooth is somewhat degraded and it looks a little bit fuzzy. Now I want you to compare that with the image that you see right here, and this is what it looks like when it's recorded directly into the scope. These are the same icons. You can see they're much clearer. So I didn't want you to get the impression that the InfiRay Finder is actually a poor quality scope, or that it just only produces fuzzy images. It actually has a very nice image in it, but the images that I'm using are often coming off of my phone, recorded via Bluetooth, and so they don't look as good as they should. Also, for those of you who want to see how the Spear TNT 90 grain bullet did at 245 yards, take a look at Carpe Analysis, the Trauma Diaries number 75. I'll put a link at the end of the video. Carpe sus, my friends. Carpe sus, my friends.